Hey everyone, Humphrey here, back with another RouterGods sales engineer video. And we're going to talk about what is a typical commission structure for an SE. We'll talk about layoffs. We'll also talk about whether being tied directly to an account manager or an account executive, an AM or an AE, tied directly one-to-one, is that good? Is that bad? Is it preferable or worse versus being in a pooled structure? And we'll also explain what a pooled structure is as well. So I got this set of questions from Reddit, a subreddit called Sales Engineers. And it's a really awesome subreddit. People are pretty helpful. The poster has recently been laid off. They worked as an SA, a solutions architect at a DevOps firm, and now they're looking at a job offer that is a one-to-one tied directly to an account manager and looks like a cybersecurity type role. And this person used to have a split of 75 base to 25% commission, and now this new role is 70-30, so 70% base, 30% commission. Okay, so let's talk about the layoffs first. There is a trend of layoffs right now, especially in the tech space. But what I will say, and yes, SEs are being laid off. I have seen it. I have had friends that have been laid off or have taken the package. And yeah, it's happening right now. What I will say though is compared to the AMs, compared to the account managers, the SEs generally have it a little bit better because you can get rid of account managers easier than SEs. And what I mean by that is an account manager, their worth comes from their list of contacts, their knowledge of the sales process, Salesforce, etc. So finding a account manager, so if an account manager is laid off or leaves, finding another one to fill their spot is a lot easier than finding an equally good SE. So an SE, what is their worth? Their worth is in the technical knowledge. Their worth is in demoing and explaining things. Their worth is, it's also kind of like account manager light. You have to know how to talk to people, do deals and stuff like that, but not to extent not anywhere near as an account manager. So it is generally a lot tougher to find a good SE versus a good account manager, all things considered. Now, a very, very good SE, a superstar SE, is going to be damn painful to replace. Okay, let's talk a little bit about splits before we get into the pooled versus dedicated one-to-one structure. You have a base and you have a commission. Unlike in the normal corporate environment or normal network engineer, network architect type of thing, where you just have a salary and you might have a bonus if you're lucky. Let's say in a normal job you're paid $100,000. Good, right? You get $100,000 a year, and then you get a Christmas bonus of, let's say, 10%. So around Christmas time, maybe you get a $10,000 check as a bonus that's added on. In the sales world, both account managers and SEs, you got a base and a commission. And your base is a percentage, and your commission is also a percentage. You add both of those percentages up, they add up to 100%. So when you hear people say 75-25, you add up the two numbers, that's 100%. When you hear people say 80-20, 80% base, 20% commission, that adds up to 100%. So those two numbers, the base and commission, always add up to 100%. And the 100% is known as OTE, on target earnings. So this means if you hit your goal, and the goal is, let's say, $10 million a year, then you get all of your commission added to your base. Now, if you sell zero, you totally suck for the year, you sell zero, your commission piece is going to be zero. You still get your base, you get your base no matter what. So let's say OTE, we'll make it easy. Let's say your OTE is $200,000 a year, and you are on an 80-20 rule, 80-20 rule. Actually, let's make it 75-25. Let's make 75-25. 75% of 200K is $150,000 a year. So you will always make $150,000 a year, even if you sell zero. Now, if you make your goal, if you sell your $10 million or whatever your goal is for the year, you get 100% of the 25%, which is $50,000. So your earnings for the whole year is $200,000 at 100% of your goal. So picking different companies depending on the percentages, so is 70-30 better, is 80-20 better? If you're looking at a higher percentage as a commission, so you're looking at something like a 70-30 split or a 75-25 split. So those two, 70-30, 75-25, those two splits are better if you have good pipeline. So you have good customers, there's good potential, things are coming in, you have a really good possibility of making a big deal, and you're a rock star, you kick ass. So if you are really good at your job and you have high confidence that you're going to make quota or even exceed it, then I would suggest having a higher percentage as your commission. Now, if you prefer the safer route, then it is okay to pick jobs that are 80-20. That means you have a high percentage as your base, and okay, if you don't do as well in the sales part, or you totally tank on your commission, it's not that big of a hit. So let's say in the same scenario, $200,000 a year, OTE. In the same scenario, let's take an 80-20 split. On an 80-20 split, your base is $160K a year, and your variable part is $40,000 a year. So if you sold zero, that $40,000 shrinks down to zero, and you only made $160,000 a year. Not everyone is comfortable with the 70-30 split because they got a lot of bills to pay, they need more predictable income. Okay, now let's talk about pooled structures, being pooled into a region, being split between multiple AMs versus one-to-one, right? One-to-one means you're an SE and you only belong to one AM, your buddies, your pals. This has been my scenario for the last 6 years at Cisco, when I was at Cisco. So I had 1 year, my first year was an SE for Select, that's pooled. So I was in a team of 6 or 7, and that pooled structure is really nice because you have a lot less pressure. So your pressure as a team to achieve your quota. So your team gets a quota, and as long as your team gets a quota and hopefully goes above to get some accelerators, get more money, then you make money on your commission. Now, another great thing about being in a pooled structure is commission checks come every month. That's really cool. Every month you're getting money added to your check. So it's really nice to get a constant, I call it the drip feed of commissions. 1 month it could be 3,000, 3,000, 3,000, 4,000, 6,000. Maybe in a good month it's 10,000. Yeah, you get a really nice commission check. Other months maybe it's down to 2,000. But in my year in Select, in the pooled structure, I don't think I had a month where I got zero. I think maybe the lowest month was like 500, 600 bucks, because deals are always hitting because you're part of a team, and customers of all those SEs, of all those AMs, are constantly buying at different times. So just deals are booking all the time throughout the year. When you're teamed up one-on-one with an AM, you have a specific set of accounts. And generally this is enterprise or a specific vertical. So what I mean by vertical is your AM could have all of the big hospitals in the area. Your AM could have all the entertainment companies in the area. In some instances, like the global accounts, it could be just one account. It could be like a massive, massive bank of a country. Not going to say what country, but bank of something, and that's your only account. And what could suck is if that customer hates you that year, you could get zero. Conversely, if your customer really likes you that year, you could do 270%, 250%. And in those instances, being paired up one-on-one is really awesome, because then you hit accelerators, then you can make $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 in 1 year if you hit really high accelerators, if you completely blow out your number. And yes, it is possible as an SE to make 400,000 a year, 500,000 a year. Heck, it's even possible to make 600,000 a year if you hit that really big deal. I've seen it. I know people that have done it. Is it better to be one-on-one versus pooled? Some people like the stability. Some people like the constant checks, and they're not looking for the big, massive, 250%. When you're in a pooled structure, it's very, very, very difficult to hit the high accelerators because you're pooled. Some people do well, some people do not so well, and it averages out, right? And you're also at the mercy of overall economic trends. So if you belong to a regional team and the economy for the country tanks and no one buys, that's going to suck. Conversely, it could go the other way. COVID. During COVID, people bought stuff. I mean, boy, did people buy stuff. People bought IT stuff. Other stuff, not so much. Companies bought gear towards the middle and end of COVID. A lot of companies bought it in the beginning because they needed the remote working stuff, the VPN boxes, the firewalls, because, whoa, we've never sent 5,000 people home and we need firewalls and we need, yeah, wait in line, buddy, because everyone else figured it out and you're like the 100,000th customer to figure this out. During COVID, it was actually really good to be in IT sales because companies bought stuff. For some people, pooled structure is better because they like the stability, they like the constant checks, they like the less risk, and it's more of a team, you're helping each other out. Other people like the one-on-one because they are the rock star, they are the experienced folks, they want to hit the big home run, they want to have the chance at the really, really big money, and maybe their expenses are low to where if they just hit their base, if they totally tank for the year, it's okay. Like it's fine. And because maybe the next year they go 200%, 250%. So it depends on your mentality. Personally, while I did actually I loved my time in Select, in the pooled structure. It was great, right? But I also really like the one-on-one, the being tied directly to an AM, because man, in the years that are good, and actually I had several great years, in the great years you do very, very well and your commissions are just really awesome. Also, another advantage of being tied one-on-one is you get to know your customers a lot more. Yeah, because it kind of makes sense. You're tied directly to the AM, you're tied directly to the customer, you're meeting with the customers more. They're bigger customers, and in some cases, especially in enterprise, you're spending potentially every day at the customer. That's what I did. There were some customers where I would fly in for the week and I'd spend the whole week at the customer, or multiple weeks in some cases. As an SE, not everyone wants or needs to be the Navy SEAL. You can't, if you have 100 SEs, all 100 can't be Navy SEAls. They don't want to be Navy SEAls. Maybe you have a split of 50% want the pooled, they want to work in the smaller customers, they want to work in Select, they want to work more as a team, and then the other 50% are like, I'm the sniper, send me out, I want to go by myself. Yeah, cool, I'm with the AM. That's nice. So if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. And if you like this video, a thumbs up, it really helps this channel. And if you have any questions, if you have any topics you want me to discuss, just ask away in the comments below. Thanks a lot, Humphrey with RouterGods. Take care, stay safe, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.